Hello, and what is going on, everybody? It is Master of the TDS, and I'm joined by my lovely wife,
WritingRaven.
And we're back for another episode of Psycho-Synopsis.
Indeed.
The segment where we summarize all the Psycho for you. Just a scattering of topics throughout the week, all summarized into a neat little package for you to enjoy and consume at your leisure.
You're welcome.
We got a bunch of topics to discuss today.
Some pretty crazy ones indeed.
But before we do, we just want to give a shout out to Josiah Rises. Recently, we just passed 2,400 subscribers because I made a compilation which we will be discussing in this video. And Josiah obviously gave us a shout out and pinned our channel in the comments. And so we've gotten a bunch more subscribers from that. So if you are new here from that, hello. Mm-hmm. And once again, thank you to Josiah for that little shout out. It was really nice.
Yes. Thanks, boss.
Well, with that out of the way,
let us bring in our first client, Netflix The Witcher.
Despite Henry Cavill's departure after season 3, Witcher director Sophie Holland has confirmed that The Witcher will have a 5th season filmed almost immediately after season 4 wraps production.
Yeah, it's still not going to save the show.
And as you can see, we have here Henry Cavill as Geralt, and then we have someone deepfake Liam Hemsworth onto
Geralt, and it looks horrible.
I'm sure he'll look a little better than that when they do makeup and stuff like that.
Maybe. Give him a beard and it might be passable. But Henry Cavill is still Geralt.
The weird thing about this is that ever since Henry left, and news came out of why he left, and The Witcher Blood Origin came out, which was awful according to most people who have seen it.
We have not, and we don't plan to.
But ever since then, it doesn't matter what comes out for The Witcher. It has been getting universal backlash from people because they're upset that Henry will be departing the role.
Yeah, because he really was the only reason anyone stayed on. And I will be honest, I watched the show before I read the books or played any of the games. So that was my first introduction. And I still thought Henry Cavill's performance was absolutely amazing. When I started reading the books, I read all of Geralt's lines in his Geralt voice.
I've also read the books, and I think the books are very good. I've not seen the show.
You're not missing anything. The book is definitely better.
I've seen some clips of Henry Cavill acting, and so I know that he's pretty good in the show from what I've seen. But the problem is they're really, really pushing that they're going to get a season 4. But now they're like, oh, not just a season 4, we're going to get a season 5 too.
I mean, they had already confirmed that there were going to be 5 seasons, but there's no way that they're going to have enough support to continue to even release season 4 at this point.
I don't think that this is going to go the way they want. They're splitting up season 3 into like 2 parts because of, to milk Henry while he's still around. And then they're just going to replace him. And look, I'm not saying that, replacements don't happen sometimes in shows.
They do, but he really was the only reason people were staying on.
And he was the only reason, for the most part, that these people were actually sticking to the source material. So with him gone, it's going to go crazy.
Oh, they weren't sticking to the source material. They revealed who the Emperor was in the end of season 2 when he's supposed to be revealed at the end of the whole series of books.
There's a lot of things that the show has taken creative liberties with, but most of it has been also pushing certain agendas and stuff like that, and that doesn't work for the show, and obviously Henry had problems with it, which is one of the reasons why he's leaving. I think that having a 4th season, I could see happening. A 5th season, I mean, you can do it if you want, but you're not going to get the turnout that you think you are.
No one's going to watch it. No one's going to be watching season 4 either, unless they're doing it to review.
No, they might review it season 4 just to see how it is with Liam Hemsworth.
It won't be as good as with Henry Cavill.
But that's exactly why someone would want to look at it. But after that point, I don't see this working out very well. So they're saying how they want to do a lot with this. I think it's over.
It's definitely over. It's been over since it began.
Yeah. So good luck with that. We'll wait and see how this goes. I really think, wishful thinking, I would see how season 3 does before even worrying about season 4 or 5, but that's just me.
Yeah. All I will say is that I'm looking forward to Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40k show. I'm catching up on all the lore to prepare myself. But, moving on. And next up we have Elliot Page.
Elliot Page released a memoir called Page Boy, where Page mentions an encounter with an A-list actor who said, quote, "I'm going to F you to make you realize you aren't gay," end quote.
And, of course, everyone in the comments and quote tweets decided it was either Johnny Depp or Chris Pratt.
Yeah, and as you can see, there's more to this compilation if you'd like to see it on Twitter or in Josiah Rice's video. But I put some of the comments here. You can see a bunch of people saying it's Chris Pratt, Chris Pratt, Chris Pratt, Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp.
And there was one Brad Pitt in there, which was weird.
Whatever.
And apparently also a Russell Crowe?
I did hear that someone suggested that Ron Perlman might be the person. He's the one who got really mad at Governor DeSantis and said, "Say gay." Remember with the weird snaggly teeth?
Yeah, he's ugly.
Regardless, we're not going to go into the political side of this thing, and the reason I'm going to address Elliot as Elliot because Ellen had her name legally changed to Elliot. That said, it's confusing, so we're going to use whatever pronouns we can, and I really don't care. If you don't like it, too bad.
Yeah, at this point it's just whatever.
A lot of people doubt this even happened.
I would not be surprised if it didn't, and he/she is just doing it for clout.
Yeah, that's what they do, and of course it has to come out during Pride Month, which is suspicious, but whatever. We're not going to, as I said, we're not going to get into the political side of this stuff, but the fact that these people on Twitter find any opportunity to throw Chris Pratt or Johnny Depp under the bus all the time is ridiculous.
It's more like they throw them in front of a train. It's a more painful way to die.
Yeah, but you see, Chris Pratt's doing well, Johnny Depp is doing well. Like, what do you want? And Page did not mention who the person was on purpose. Now, whether it happened or not, we don't know. And whether they're using it for clout, it would probably make a lot of sense that they were. But speculating about who it is and then saying, oh, it's got to be Chris Pratt, it's got to be Johnny Depp. You guys need lives. Please get off the internet. If any of you are not human, which some of you might just be bots, beep, bop, boop, get offline.
Touch grass. Get some sunlight. Or moonlight, if you prefer. And, get out of the basement.
I'm just tired of this narrative where it's like, and one of them was even saying at one point, oh, we're never going to get names again and it's all Johnny Depp's fault. Don't even go there.
What is that? Sorry, but what does that sentence even mean?
Basically saying that they're never going to get names again on any accusations because of Johnny Depp. Because Johnny Depp came out with evidence that disproved his ex-wife's conniving claims. With evidence, we're not going to get names anymore because, again, when you make accusations, you require evidence. Shocking.
Yeah.
Regardless, this is a whole can of worms, and I just think that the hate people have for Chris Pratt and Johnny Depp is ridiculous, especially on Twitter, and yeah. We'll have to see what comes out from this. I don't think much will.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on. And next up, we have The Flash.
This universe has Batman and a Wendy's?
No way!
The Flash producer, Barbara Muschietti, says that the Flash film was never at risk of being shelved due to Ezra Miller's history, and any reports that it was were, quote, never real, end quote.
Press X to doubt.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there was obviously talks to shelve it because of what's going on. Do I think the movie is going to be bad? No. I think many people have talked about it. Many people have already seen it and said good things about it. I think that it'll do very well.
Probably. Even from the trailer, it does look like it might be a decent movie. However, it's Ezra Miller. And they've also decided to gender swap the Flashpoint timeline regarding Superman and made it Supergirl, which I don't like.
Regardless, a lot of things, and we're not, again, don't even bother with worrying, we're not going to even bother with the pronouns here for Ezra. There's so many things about this that's wrong, and we're not going to care about the pronouns. So Sorry if you don't like that. A lot of people have come actually to the defense of Ezra Miller lately, saying that a lot of the things that he has done were blown out of proportion by the media. And I want to address that. Yeah. I do think that a lot of it was blown out of proportion by the media. There is some concrete evidence that he committed crimes, like video.
Yeah. And he should be in jail. He is a criminal. and he's on the loose, and he's a danger to society.
Let's say, though, that a lot of the accusations were blown up and were not actually true. Let's make a parallel here. Johnny Depp was removed from all of his movies because of accusations that turned out to be false. This, we have concrete evidence of certain things that he's done with video footage, and he still gets to have his movie. That alone, put aside anything else, is completely unfair.
Which is one of the reasons why a lot of people are not supporting Ezra Miller.
Now, I do think they're smart. They've mentioned that they're not going to have Ezra do any promotional stuff. He's just going to appear at the premiere, and that's it, which I think is smart. And even Ezra, the reason Ezra gave for it was because he doesn't want the discussion to be about Ezra Miller. He wants it to be about the movie. One of the smartest things that he's probably said in quite some time.
Or ever.
This movie will do well. I think that if they try to make a sequel, which there is plans for, it's not going to happen. I think that they should have Grant Gustin take over from him. It would make perfect sense. And people would be supportive of it, but we'll have to see because they're rebooting everything anyways.
Yeah. I mean, Ezra Miller's Flash did cameo in the Arrowverse at one point.
Whatever. It would be super easy to swap out Grant Gustin. You'd have a bunch of people who were supportive of it, and you could put this behind you regardless of whether the truth of what happened or not. There is definitely controversy around it, enough that other people have been taken out of movies and taken out of things for same kinds of things, but he gets away with it with concrete evidence. Just swap him out for Grant Gustin, have Grant Gustin come in, and then you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, that would solve everything.
But they won't do that because reasons.
Yeah. Oh well. Moving on. And next up, we have Daredevil.
Joke's on you. I couldn't see it because I'm blind.
But
Actor Charlie Cox revealed that he has not yet watched the episodes of She-Hulk Attorney at Law that feature him as Daredevil, despite previously defending the show's portrayal of the character.
Why am I not surprised?
Wait a minute, honey.
Yeah?
Let's stop for a sec. I recall this strange line that people say often on Twitter when people get mad about things. It's, what was it again? Oh yeah, it was, if you haven't watched it, you can't have an opinion on it.
You're not wrong.
But wait a minute. He had an opinion on it and he didn't watch it.
Shouldn't Twitter be attacking him and eating him alive?
Well, he's actually been on the show, so to be fair, he probably had some knowledge of the character.
Well, he did read the script.
But, not surprising to see, just because you did a script doesn't mean that your character came off the way that you thought it did. You really should have watched it, and if you did, I get that you had a paycheck and you had to defend it, and was probably part of the reason it was your way back into the MCU. So it makes sense why he would defend it, because it was the first time of him coming back.
True, but then he was immediately destroyed, and he will be destroyed even further in his Disney Plus show, in which they're going to destroy everything further.
Yeah, well, regardless, I just think it's funny that it's like, oh, it turns out he didn't watch it. What a surprise. It's almost like these actors will play ball and will defend products without actually knowing them. And this is the thing that's happened many times with other movies and stuff like that, where certain actors have come out, not even ones involved in the movies, and said the movie's good or whatever, or defended it without ever seeing it. So if you're going to say that in order for us to have an opinion on it, we have to watch it, well then the same thing goes for you. Don't get to be our moral superiors.
True.
Just a disclaimer, my wife and I have not seen She-Hulk. We've seen enough of it.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to give our opinions on the series as a whole? No. Are we going to say that it didn't look like a good show and that we think it's a bad show based on what we've heard?
Yes.
But I'm not going to go out there and say, well, this episode was the best of She-Hulk and that one was the worst. No, because I haven't seen it.
Shall we move on? And speaking of Marvel, next up we have Miles Morales.
You went full miles. Never go full miles.
I seriously love this meme.
Longtime Sony Spider-Man producer Amy Pascal has confirmed that development has begun on a live-action Miles Morales solo film.
And notice how she said Miles Morales and not Spider-Man.
Now, I want to clear up something. A lot of times people like to troll on Twitter and stuff like that with the Miles Morales is Miles Morales and not Spider-Man. I want to clarify my stance on it because people seem to not understand that, and I'm sure no one will ever watch this that will get mad at me for it, and they won't realize exactly how I feel, but I think it's something I do want to make clear.
Go ahead.
Do I think Miles Morales is Spider-Man? No. Do I think he's a Spider-Man? Yes. Do I think that Miles was Spider-Man in his own universe? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that when he became part of this universe that the title Spider-Man still applies? No.
It really only worked better when he was in his own universe, especially in a universe where Peter Parker died.
Now, to be fair, Peter Parker didn't actually die in that universe. Spoiler alert. Wow, it's weird. It's almost like I've read the comics or something.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just obviously I just hate it because everybody else told me to, and I didn't read almost all of his comics and decide that I didn't like him. And then when he got merged, haven't read them since.
Mm-hmm.
But have seen enough.
Yeah.
I actually didn't hate Miles.
Nor did I when he was first introduced.
I didn't love him, but I didn't hate him in his own universe because it made sense in his universe.
Exactly what I was about to say. That's what the whole Spider-Verse is that each universe has its own version of Spider-Man, or Spider-Girl, or Spider whatever animal it is, or mech whatever. That's the point of Spider-Verse. To have two Spider-Men in one universe just doesn't work. That causes a multi-universal paradox.
Now, I want to clarify here. So, they apparently did this somehow by merging the Ultimates universe with the regular universe, and they somehow made it work. I don't know how it works. Regardless, the paradox part aside, Miles deserves his own name. Oh, but Spider-Man is a mantle and everybody can be Spider-Man. Okay, whatever you want to think. But I'm sorry, it made sense in his universe, even when Peter Parker was not dead, because Peter decided he did not want to be Spider-Man. And so it made sense that Miles became Spider-Man. But this whole thing of pushing him and saying, oh, he's the more popular Spider-Man now. No, he's not.
Peter Parker will always be the more popular Spider-Man.
And that's not because we hate Miles, it's just because the iconic Spider-Man will always be Peter Parker and the red and blue suit. That's how it is.
Yes.
Do I think Miles could be a good character in the right hands? Yes. Do I think he is a good character now? No. Do I think that the way they keep pushing him is cringe, stupid, and sloppy? Absolutely. And giving him an energy sword that he can use now, which is a new thing they're giving him, doesn't make him cooler.
No, it doesn't. It just makes him weirder. It's lame. And one thing that always surprised me is that no one was ever upset that Miles' father was a cop.
Fair. But also, Across the Spider-Verse is doing quite well in the ratings. I wonder where all the racists and the trolls went that were going to review bomb The Little Mermaid overseas and all that kind of stuff. I wonder where they all went. They just decided, nah, we're not going to be here.
Did the same thing for House of the Dragon.
Weird how that works.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how this is. Here's a shocking thing for those people. If it looks like a good Spider-Man movie, I might go see it. What? Even if it has Miles in it? What? No way!
Because we like good movies, end of story.
And it's not one over the other. I think that Miles could be a great character, but its potential has been wasted, especially in this universe. That's all.
Yeah, pretty much. Give him back his own universe, and if you're going to keep him in that universe, give him a name that isn't Spider-Man.
And please cast Robert Downey Jr. with blackface as Miles. That'd be hilarious. The internet would cry.
I mean, you made this meme. The internet's already crying.
Does it ever stop?
No. Moving on. And continuing with Marvel, next we have The Punisher.
Marvel Comics officially gets rid of the Punisher character in the surprising conclusion of Frank Castle's most controversial series in decades.
Oh my god, I hate what they have done.
So let's run a breakdown, okay?
Go for it.
What did they do first? They got rid of his guns because gun bad. Then they got rid of his logo because logo bad. Then they made him the leader of the Hand and resurrected his wife but not his kids because kids bad. And then turns out what they've done here, they had him actually fight Ares, the god of war, who had his original logo, and they basically had him fight against it. But here, what happens? Basically, it turns out that they had to ruin him further. They made it that, and you can read here if you want, you can see it probably easier on Twitter because part of it is cut off here. But basically, to summarize, what happens here is Frank gets this power to be able to discern evil within the hearts of men, and he's able to determine beforehand that these people are evil, and he kills them preemptively.
So, kind of like Ghost Rider.
Yes, but because of that, the Avengers aren't happy about it, and then he gets back and he tries to get back in, and basically his wife ends up shooting him with the magical bullets that he used against Ares. And what ends up happening is it takes away his powers, but also the Avengers obviously like put him underground and like, you know, capture him. And then basically, as you could see, Maria comes, basically says that the day that they went to the park, the day that, you know, they were killed or whatever, she wanted to tell him that she wanted a divorce. And also because she's technically dead, she doesn't need to get a divorce now. So with Natasha's help, she divided his assets and then took half the money for herself and put it in cash. And the other part of it, she took and donated it to charities of people who have lost children because, quote, that's how you honor your family, Frank. You don't go on and use him as an excuse to kill. And then basically she says that, I hope wherever you get sent, you don't come back, the end. And then he ends up getting transferred to Weird World, which is a series that was really weird, obviously been the name. And he basically says to these kids, these orphans he's protecting, that not to call him Punisher, but to call him Frank. And yeah, that's how the Punisher ends.
I have no words.
Now, I think that they're setting him up for becoming Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Maybe, but can I please murder whoever wrote this?
Jason Aaron? No.
In Minecraft?
In Minecraft. I was going to say, in Minecraft, yes.
Please, let me hex him. Please, let me. Please, 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 please.
As long as it's in Minecraft.
No, it will be in Minecraft, I promise. They destroyed the Punisher. The most badass character in Marvel, aside from Wolverine, who all they also ruined. Sorry.
You get very loud.
I can't help it. You've been trying to fix that for 4 years. It's not going to suddenly change now.
I'll keep working on it. But yeah, this is ridiculous, stupid. The Punisher did not need this. You did not need to destroy the Punisher. And basically what this tells us about Jason Aaron is that you don't like the Punisher very much, do you?
So why are you writing him?
Good question. How about if you don't know what to do with him, leave him alone?
Or better yet, give him to me. I will make good use of those guns.
No. So, just to let everybody know, when it comes to shooting, aka laser tag, I am the better shot than...
You cheat!
No, I'm the better shot than Raven, because it's God's way of balancing her out. So she's very good with knives and stuff like that, but I'm the better at shooting, because then that way we make a good team.
You still cheat.
No, I don't.
You totally cheat! You kept your finger on the recharge button the whole time!
It's not cheating if it's effective.
Cheater.
How is it cheating? I'm using the gun exactly the way that it's intended. I just keep my finger on the recharge thing so it never uncharges. What's the problem with that?
It's cheating!
If it works, then it's not intended feature, not a bug.
Okay, tell us in the comments who's right in this argument.
I'm right.
No, you're not. You cheated.
I still won.
No, you didn't.
Anyways.
But yeah, the Punisher is dead. And I don't think he'll be able to come back from this.
Or if they do, they'll probably find some other way to ruin him. And his new logo is terrible and it's awful. And please, please, it's not going to stop anybody from using the original. Cry more.
Moving on. And finally, our last client, the Little Mermaid. When I said I wanted to be part of that world, this isn't what I had in mind.
We have to be historically accurate. Wouldn't want to erase slavery.
Dun, dun, dun!
The current chair of England's Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, Marcus Ryder, has declared that Disney's live-action Little Mermaid remake fails at representation by ignoring the real-world topic of Caribbean slavery.
Because apparently they decided that live-action Little Mermaid takes place in the Caribbean, not in the Atlantic Ocean by Denmark.
That way they had an excuse to actually race swap what they've done here, which again is a whole other topic that we've already discussed and we're not even going to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Movie didn't do very well.
No.
It's rated pretty highly, but there's been some funny business around it. But one thing I can tell you is it does not look like it's going to break even. It needs $500 million, I think, to break even, and it's not even there yet.
It's certainly not doing well overseas.
No, that's just...
Rating terrorism?
Ratings terrorism, or Something like that. There was an article around that was saying how it was like basically terrorism.
Which is one of the stupidest things to hear yet.
But now, obviously, it just goes to show you that these people, whenever you pander Disney, you never can do enough. Because now, it's not enough that you race-swapped everything and whatever, and gender-swapped Scuttle, which is a whole other bag of worms we're not going into. It's not enough. See, now you've done all this stuff to pander, but now it erases slavery. How terrible! You know what would be easier? If you had just left it the way that it was originally, with a white mermaid. Guess what? There wouldn't be any slavery to erase!
No way!
Weird. It's almost like maybe things were made the way they were for a reason, and you don't need to change them for stupid reasons to pander to people who don't buy your stuff, will scream and cry about it on Twitter, and that's it. It's not even enough. They didn't go to see it. It's not going to break even. Spider-Verse is kicking its butt into next week.
Mm-hmm. Regardless, the whole original fairy tale took place in 1400s Denmark. There wasn't a black person in sight.
But that's racist, so we have to just change history. We'll make Cleopatra black, too.
It's not racist. It's geographical history.
Geographical history is racist. We'll change it.
Ugh.
This movie is terrible. I'm tired of talking about it.
Okay, let's move on. I don't like mermaids anyway. And with that being our last client of the day, it is time for us to reveal the diagnosis of the week.
And we have an interesting diagnosis for you today.
Do tell.
So the diagnosis for this week is Ganser syndrome.
Please explain.
So Ganser syndrome are people who experience short-term episodes of odd behavior, similar to other people, but they have mental illness. They get confused, they have amnesia, visual hallucinations, all that kind of stuff. Basically, it's also been called nonsense syndrome. It's basically when we have bouts of things that just make no sense and they kind of come back to normal. For example, The Punisher, Ariel, all the stuff we see in Hollywood. These people take characters that were established and make them do things the characters would never do. So might as well say the characters have Ganser syndrome, because eventually what sells? The original characters. What doesn't sell? Your new stupid ones. And eventually they see that, and it's almost like whatever happened before didn't happen. And that will happen with The Punisher, it'll happen with The Little Mermaid, it'll happen with everything they do, because they can't help themselves. They need to make these things into what they want rather than what the characters they were established to be, and people don't accept it. So we'll see more of this going forward, but hopefully eventually this will change. And that's why I feel like this is a great diagnosis for this week.
I agree.
And now we're moving on to the remedy of the week.
And this week we are sending you to Roman of the Empire, who we had the honor of meeting in Vegas, and he actually had a fanboy moment when he figured out who Master was.
Well, because we had met him in San Diego first, and he didn't know who we were there. We were there for a No Way Home meetup.
He's a retired Navy Master Chief, currently a full-time nerd, offers his perspectives on pop culture, is a bass player and a vocalist, has done San Diego music, loves movies, loves TV, and gives his own comments on things, and they're actually very good comments.
Good guy. He could use some more subscribers, and I think that he has some great content to check out.
He also has a very adorable puppy named Pippin. But I like puppies.
That explains his comment to me.
Anyways, grab your helmets, head on over there, and let him know that Gothic Therapy referred you.
Indeed. But that is all we have for this week. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and also make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe with notifications on so you do not miss your weekly therapy session.
Or you will be charged. But remember, when you do subscribe, your first session is free, so smash those buttons like they're bad kitties. And do consider joining us at the Dusk, Midnight, or Dawn level. We would appreciate it quite a lot. You can also find links to all of our socials in the description below, as well as links to our merch store and our Discord server known as The Clinic. Be sure to check them out. And we are working on setting up our live show, so stay tuned for that. And if you haven't seen so on Twitter.
So actually, as of now, and this is not going to be an official ad, but as of now, I am now an ambassador for Viter Energy. Viter Energy makes some great energy mints. They come in a variety of flavors. They're caffeinated. They're very good. I use them a lot of the times throughout the day at work and whatever.
Yeah, we practically swear by them.
And if you use the link below, which is my referral link, any purchase we get 25% commission from. And if you use code GET10, you can get 10% off your order, so go check them out.
Indeed, you will not regret it.
And they're kosher, by the way.
Indeed they are, which is the best part.
That's all we have for this week, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Gothic Therapy, out.